product name which you wish to buy currently. I'll give a key as product. Suggest me a product name. One product name Bhavani will suggest, one product name Abhishek will suggest. Me. Come on, quickly. Okay. Okay. And the second product, so what I will do, I will reuse the same component. If you remember, we have studied when we studied about props, I have shown you that which or how you can reuse the same component by sending different values to them. Okay, so first one I have sent it, and second one I will send as phone. Okay, so if you now check your output, you will get the product is because you re-rendered the same component twice. Now I don't want it product to be displayed. I want these values to be displayed. So how do we display these values? We have sent the props. So only sending of props is not enough. You should receive the props. So how do we receive? We pass a props parameter. Okay, then if you want, you can console and check what you have received in props. Yes, so you will observe you have received both the props. And how do you use it? Yes, functional based component only. I have to use functional based here. Okay, so to display these values, what we have to do? We have to destructure. So let me destructure product from where? From props. And how can I display? Here I can mention one heading tag and let us display here product. So if you see, you'll get iPod and phone displayed on UI. Okay, so this is also done. Anything new here? Anything you find difficult here till here? Everything we have seen, right? These things we have already done when we studied long back regarding props. So I have done the same thing. I have made a product component, okay, and I have just rendered it by sending two different props to it. I have reused the same component. Now the point is, why did I make this? Because we were talking about error handling phase, correct? So yes, we are going to study error handling phase. So to have or to study the error handling phase, we should have error first, correct? Now we cannot sit and wait that when I will get an error. So what we will do is, now we will try to create an error on our own. Okay, we ourselves will make an error. See, we can, but as I said that, what are you asking? Are you asking me about methods? Error handling phase methods. Yeah, error also you can make, but methods we will use in class based only. See, the life cycle methods, you cannot use them in FBC. Okay, make this point clear. You cannot use a life cycle method in functional based. So don't worry, I'm not going to use the error here. Sorry, the life cycle method here, because we cannot use, not possible. It will throw error. Your functional based component will throw error even if you try to use it. So I'm not going to use them here. Okay, don't worry. Have little bit of patience you have. I'll tell what exactly we are going to do. Okay, so what I'm saying is, to learn about error handling phase, first we should have some error, right? Unless and until we have an error, how we will tackle those error, how we will handle those errors. So now I cannot just sit and wait that when I will get an error. So what we will do is, let us try to create an error on our own. Okay, so that we can handle it. So what we will do is, let us go to this component again. Okay, and now let us give a condition that if the product's value, okay, if the product's value is equals to phone. Have I sent a prop as phone? Have I sent a value of prop as phone? Yes, I have sent, correct. So purposely, okay, purposely I am giving a condition that if the value of product is phone, so that time I want to throw an error. So how will I throw an error? I will give a keyword throw, then I will use new keyword, and then I will call the error message, and whatever message you want, okay, whatever error message you want to create, you can pass it here. That is your wish. Suppose I will pass here as this product is not available. This is my error. I want to create this error. But when I am going to create this error, whenever the value of your product is phone, only that time I want this error to be generated. So if you see now, if you observe, for the first time I'm sending iPod, so here there will be no error. But as I'm sending the phone as a prop, you will get error in the line number 10, or because of this line number 10 you will get an error. So now if you check, now you check, my screen went blank, as well as you can see the error generated, this product is not available. Sorry, till here have you, sorry, till here have you understood what I have done? I have just created a condition. I have just given a condition in such a way that it should generate an error on its own. We have created the error. Why? Because we want to learn how to handle the errors using the life cycle method in error handling phase. Till here, have you understood, Abhishek, how I have thrown this error? If you have learnt in JavaScript, you must be knowing how to throw an error. Understood or not? Bhavani, Abhishek. Okay, fine. So this is how I have thrown an error based on the condition. You can change it also. Okay, you can give it as if product is equals to bag. If I'm giving the condition that if product is equals to bag, then only it should throw an error. So I have not sent any product as bag. So that is why you can see now there is no error. Why? Because I have given the condition for bag now, not for iPod or phone. So then what I will do is let me change it back to phone so that I get the error. Okay. But now if you see currently you are developing the application, that is why it is fine. But once your application is released to the customer, when it is in the production stage, so will the customer like to use your application if the screen suddenly goes blank like this? There was error only in one component. Do you agree? The error is only in one component, but still, what has happened? The entire screen went blank. Your entire screen got crashed. Like Bhavani, you faced it just before some time. You made one error, but because of that, your entire application went blank. So then what to do? In such case, you can go with the error handling phase methods. You cannot afford such blank screen in front of your clients, in front of your users. Why? Because if you're using some website and if you simply get blank, will you have interest to wait? Will you have patience to wait? But in case if the same website is giving you a message that wait for some time, try after some time, check your network connection, or there is some error, some or the other message if you see, so then user will understand, right, that okay, there is some problem, but after some time it will be resolved. Correct or not? You might have seen, right, that if some application is having a problem, if it is getting crashed, so it will display some message, thing went wrong, or try after some time. Have you seen or not? So now tell me, is this showing a blank screen a better option, or showing an alternative message a better option in front of your user? What would you like? You would like to tell something to the user, right? Yeah, you would like to tell the user something, correct? You would like to give an alternative message, or you can also say that you would like to give an alternative content, or I can also say alternative UI, and that is called as fallback UI. What is fallback UI? Whenever, because of any kind of error, your screen gets crashed, your screen gets blank, so in that case you can display a fallback UI or an alternative UI with the help of a concept called as error boundary. If you see, I have made a component as error boundary. So what is this error boundary? This is a new concept, okay? It is a part of error handling, but it is a new concept. What is error boundary? Error boundary is nothing but it is a class based component. Okay, so let me make a class based component first, and you can remove this and just at the bottom you can export it as a default export. So listen to me carefully. What is error boundary? Error boundary, it's a class based component which is going to catch your errors. What is its work? Its work is to catch the error and display a fallback UI. Or else you can say its work is to display an alternative UI. Okay, now how it can do? It can do with the help of the life cycle methods in your error handling phase. So have you got an idea, basic idea about what is error boundary and what is a fallback UI? Okay, so error boundary, what is error boundary? Error boundary is a class based component that will catch your errors, as well as it will try to display the fallback UI instead of the complete application getting crashed. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make a state. So can you tell me which is the method that is best for declaring a state, or it is the best place to have a state? Which method best place to initialize state? Correct, constructor, very good. So let me make a constructor here. Okay, why I'm making a constructor? Because I want to make a state, I want to declare a state. So let us make a constructor, and along with this let us just initialize the state, this dot state. And as state is an inbuilt object, assign an object, and let me give a key as is error, and I am going to give it a value as false. Now, why, what is this, or why I have made this? See here, I have made a state with a key as is error. Is error means what? It will define whether the application is having some error or not. Okay, with the help of boolean value. So currently if you observe, I have given it the initial value as false, means I am assuming that initially my application will have no errors. Okay, we will assume that there are no errors, so that is why I am assigning the value for is error as false. Understood why I have given it as false? because initially we will consider there is no error. So that is why is error false. Now let us talk about the error handling phase methods. Okay, so the first method in your error handling phase is static get derived state from error. Okay, and this will take a parameter that is error. And let me tell you the use of this method. There are two methods. This is the first method, and one more method we have, that is component did catch. Okay, and this takes two parameters. One is error, and the second one is info. That is information. So these are the two methods in your error handling phase which will help you to handle the errors. Now, let me tell you the purpose of these two methods. The first method is used for what? The first method is used to display the fallback UI. Let me write here. Helps to display fallback UI. I've already told you the meaning of fallback. UI means what? What is the meaning of UI? What do we mean by UI? Yes, user interface. Okay, whatever you are trying to display on your web page, that is nothing but your UI. So this get derived state from from error is a method which will help you to display a fallback UI. And what we will do now, what this method does, as soon as this method catches some error, okay, as soon as this method, this component error boundary, as soon as this component finds that there is some error, the error will be taken and it will be passed inside get derived state from error. You can see here there is a parameter as error. So what will be passed here? Whatever the error is occurring, whatever error has occurred in your application, that will be catched by this error. So now if there is an error, we have to change this value also, correct? To what we should change? False to, what do you think? Yes, we have to change it to true, correct? So that it is an indication that there is an error. So what we will do is, through this method we will return an object, and in this object we will define the value of is error as true, so that it is an indication that we have found an error, or the error boundary has found an error. What, how it will happen? Automatically. Okay, you don't have to do anything. Automatically, in the sense, one step you need to do, I will tell you when. So whenever it finds an error, whenever the error boundary finds an error, it will be captured by this method. And as soon as it is captured by the method, we will return the value of is error as true. We will change it to true. So this is the role of get derived state from error. Now coming to this component did catch. What is the use of component did catch? This method is used to display the information of error. Whatever error has come, if you want to know the information regarding that error, you can go with this this method. So if you want, I will console error as well as info, both, which we have taken as parameters. So remember, both the methods will catch error. As soon as error boundary finds the error, both the methods are going to catch the error. But what will the first method do? First method will help you to return UI. Now how it helps, that I will show you. But remember, this is the purpose of this method is to indicate that there is an error and take some actions. What actions it will take? It will change the value from false to true. And what is the role of the second method? It will just catch the error and it will display the error if you want. Okay, so these are the two methods. Now the point is how it will perform. We have declared the function, okay, fine, but how it will perform. Now everyone observe, coming to the return statement. I will remove this return statement completely, and inside the render method I am going to give a condition. Okay, let me give a condition that if this dot state dot is error is equals to true. Can you tell me what is the meaning of this condition? If this dot state dot is error is equals to true means what? Yes, it means if the error has occurred. Correct. If there is an error. Now you have already seen that if error occurs, what happens? Our screen goes blank. So we don't want our screen to be blank. We want to display some fallback UI. So if there is an error, we will return a fallback UI. Now fallback UI, you can make a component. Okay, make a component separately, design it as you wish, and then you can simply render your component here inside the return statement. That is also fine. That is also a correct approach. Or else, for now, I will just give one heading as something went wrong. In this way, either you give one single statement or else you can separately design a component for it and you can just render it in front of the return statement. Understanding? Because I don't want my screen to go blank, correct? So instead of making the screen blank, it will give a message to the user that something went wrong, or else means what? Means if there is no error, correct? If there is no error, so I want everything to be as usual. Whatever is going on, the same thing I want. That is why I will pass here props dot children. I will return this dot props dot children. Now tell me, do you remember props dot children? Do you remember props dot children? Children is an inbuilt prop. Try to remember the example for team. We had displayed different content for different teams. For Team India, for Team South Africa, something we had done. Do you remember props dot children? What is props dot children? Whenever you pass some content, opening and closing tag, that thing is becomes your children or for that particular component. Now you might be thinking, ma'am, from where this will come now? Don't worry, I will explain. But leaving this else part, okay, leaving this else part, other things have you understood? Forget about else for some time. Other things have you understood? Okay, so now let us go back to our app.jsx. Now, the thing is that how this error boundary will understand whether there is an error or not. Okay, so for that purpose, you have to first error boundary, import error boundary here, and you have to wrap the you have to wrap the components inside the opening and closing tag of error boundary. In this way you should render, put the components whenever you feel like okay this component might create an error, might have an error, so what you can do is just wrap those components inside the error boundary and now you check. Can you see now instead of giving a blank UI it is giving me something went wrong. Okay, now let me tell you how it is working. First of all, it will see error boundary. Okay, first of all, it sees error boundary. So it will start rendering the error boundary. So it will check that is there any error. So tell me, are we having any error in the product component right now? Yes, we have created, correct. We have created for product is equals to phone. So that is why what happens, the error is captured here, and that is why the value for is error becomes true. And since the value for is error becomes true, you can see the something went wrong statement getting executed. Okay, so in this way it works. But now if you observe this line number 11, is this line number 11 having any error? Who is actually creating the error? Line number 12, right? So at least line number 11 should have been displayed, but still what is happening? It is not getting displayed. Why? Because you have an error in between this complete error boundary. Okay, so then what you can do is you can wrap each component separately. Again, you have to give error boundary here and wrap them separately. Now you observe. Now I'll tell you that props.children. Now if you see here, this product is rendered between the opening and closing tag of error boundary. So can I say this is behaving like a children for it? And even this is behaving like a children for it? Yes or no? Correct. So now what happens? The rendering starts from your app.jsx rendering starts. The error boundary starts rendering. So now error boundary observes that okay, there is no error in this component. So since there is no error, the value of is error will be what? It will be false. So will it satisfy the if condition? If there is no error at all, will it satisfy the first condition if no, right? It will not. So that is why it will come to the else statement. Okay, it comes to the else statement. So what we have given in the else statement, if there is no error, then it should return its children as it is. So how do we display children in FBC? In functional based component, we display it as props.children without destructuring. If we don't destructure, we display it as props.children. But since we are in the class based component, you know that this keyword plays an important role here. So whenever you are returning the children, you should return them as this dot props dot children. In this way you will be returning the component. Okay, so what will happen now here? Since there is no error, what it will do, it will return you this component. But what about this? Will it return a component or will it return fallback UI in the line number 14, 15, 16? Component or fallback UI? Yes, fallback UI, correct, because we are having an error. Now, can you see the difference? Can you make a note now? See, for the first component, since there is no error, so it is properly displaying the component. And whichever component is having error, only for that component we are displaying it as something went wrong. Now you might be thinking, ma'am, we are handling the error. It is fine. So then why are we getting the error in console? Still, why we are getting error? Because we are in development phase. Whenever a developer is developing an application, it is important for the developer to keep on checking the errors. So that is why even though you have solved the error, you will be able to see the error here. Why? Because you are in development phase. Once you go to the production phase, and if you run the same code there, you won't be getting a console window. Why? Because you have already handled it. Okay, so because you are in the development stage, you will still see the errors, but remember you have solved it with the help of error boundary. And once the problem is resolved, again you'll get back your UI. Correct? If the error is gone, you'll get back your UI, correct, with the help of props.children. So in this way works your error boundaries. I hope you guys have understood error boundary. Okay. So come on, please execute this. Make a new folder. Okay, make a new folder for error boundary. And in that folder, you should make these two components, one for product and one for error boundary. See, Bhavani, in product component, how will you use? I've already told you that the life cycle methods you cannot use in a functional based component. You have to use them in class based component. So whenever you use this concept error boundary, remember it is always a class based component. A class based component will help you to handle the errors. If you remember the very initial classes, I had told you there are two types of components, functional based and class based. So mostly nowadays everyone uses functional based components because it is the latest advanced one. but when it comes to class based, even though it is the old component, some concepts we have in which we have to use class based. So one of those concept is your error boundary. Why? Because I've already given you the difference that you cannot make use of these life cycle methods in functional based. Okay, because it's not a concept. Yes, app.jsx is also a functional based component. See, how do we make app.jsx? It's an arrow function, right? You are making an arrow function, you are giving a return statement, you are exporting it. So this is also a functional based component. Okay, that is why I say please revise. Very first class I had told you that even your app.jsx is a functional based component. It is the parent component for all. For all your remaining components, app is behaving like a parent. Yes, say.
As you said, the functional based component we cannot use this life cycle method, correct?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
app.jsx also is a functional based component. In product.jsx also is a functional based component, right?
Yes.
That's my question actually. You said you have seen, yeah, functional based component we cannot for like life cycle method we cannot use. You said, but in
Yes. So tell me one thing. Have we used any life cycle method in app.jsx?
we didn't use. That's what I'm asking. Error boundary is a kind of component based component which you are using in app.jsx. Okay.
Yes.
Same
Hmm.
way,
You mean to say that this content will go anyhow inside app like this?
here it's actually what it is happening in app.jx. It's like it's going to the error boundary first based on this component like class based component. It's that it's rendering product component. I understood that concept. That is fine. My
Hmm.
question is, you are just we are just pasting the error boundary in app.js, right? Like we are checking that whether the error is happening or not in
Hmm.
app.js we are checking it. Can't we check the same condition in product.jx?
No, we are checking it on product only. See, wherever you are rendering it. So for that rendered thing, you have to wrap it. Now, suppose if you have another component, a third component, and if you want to check the error for that, so for that you have to wrap it with the error boundary.
Always it should wrap with the error boundary. Each component wise they have to do it.
Yes, either you render for each component or you can also render it together. Like mostly what you will see, you won't see it in such way. You will just see one message, one fallback UI, you will see that something is went wrong or check your network, something or the other message you will find, correct? So mostly you can wrap all the components together inside error boundary. That will also do. That will also work.
Why that question is occurring for me now? Like error boundary, we are repeating, right? If we are having a think about them in the production side, like if we are developing huge application, we have to duplicate this error boundary component multiple times. Instead of that, why we cannot optimize in a product.js itself? That's what I'm thinking. Whether we can able to do it in product.js or we have to do it in this kind of way only multiple
No,
lines.
in inside product.jsx you cannot use these methods. That is why it is not possible to put this. If you want, I will just copy
No,
and
no,
I
no.
will
That
put,
yeah, that I understood. You cannot paste it. It
yeah,
will throw an
because see,
error.
it
Yeah.
will throw error because you cannot use them here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you have to take the help of class-based component in this case.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it is not possible to take help or you it's not possible to do all these things with the help of functional based, because as I said that everything is not yet updated. Okay, still we are dependent on the class based for such kind of concept, that is error boundary. Once it is
Okay.
updated, we will be able to use it in functional based also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, like how states, here we have inbuilt state, so we cannot have the inbuilt state in functional based, but then
Yes.
slowly and slowly we they found out that there is a hook called as use state, so with the help of that hook we can create it in functional based. So maybe in the further years we will get a solution for this also, the way we have got it for state in functional based.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
that way it is. Once it gets updated, you will be able to do it. But for now, you don't have any such thing that you can use error boundary. Abhishek, we cannot do error handling in functional based. Why? Because we cannot, with the help of these methods, we are handling the errors. Okay, we are handling the errors with these life cycle methods. So, can we use life cycle methods in the functional based? We cannot make use of life cycle methods in functional based component. So whenever we want to do error handling, you have to go with the class based component. That is why the very first thing I've told you before starting, that the methods, we cannot use these methods in functional based, they are only meant for class based components. Okay, and one more thing, like Bhavani said that we cannot use this. Okay, fine, but if you remember, I have told you that there are two methods in life cycle which we cannot use. Okay, we cannot use them in functional base. Like for example, this component did mount, and one more, that is component did update. So even though we cannot use them in the functional base, but as I said, we can definitely achieve its behavior in functional based. So that concept has been found out. So that also we will be studying, that even though we cannot use it in functional based, how can we achieve its behavior. Okay, so this has been updated, this particular concept has been updated, but talking about error boundary, still we are working in class based only. Understood? So it will take time, okay, to take all such concepts to functional base. Slowly and slowly it will update. Okay, you know that IT technologies keep on updating. It will never remain the same. So same thing. Now is it clear, Abhishek? And even though, see, one more thing you have to notice that even though we are executing the methods in class based, but still it is helping you with the functional based, right? It is helping you to catch the errors of your functional based component. So it is anyway helpful. Even though you use functional based component, it is able to catch the errors from there as well. Okay, so error boundary for now you have to go with class based because we cannot use these methods in functional based. It is why go with class based. Okay, so have you done? Is it executed? Okay, so in the next class, what we will see is that method component did update and component did mount, how we can achieve its behavior in FBC. That we will see it on next Saturday. Means we will see fetching of data. Okay, so if you guys have completed, you may leave for the day. See you guys on next weekend. And if you're still doing, you can continue. Yes, notes I'll be sharing. Okay. And there is one more thing called something called as custom hooks. Okay, now whatever we have studied, like use state, then we have studied use context. So these are the inbuilt hooks. These are the predefined hooks. If you wish, okay, if you wish to use these methods or to achieve the behavior of these methods in functional based component, so you have to make use of custom hooks. Now, what is the meaning of custom hooks? Custom hooks in the sense you have to make a hook by your own. You have to write the logic in such a way that you are able to achieve its behavior. Now, for example, state was an inbuilt state in the class based component. It was not possible to have inbuilt state in the functional based. So then what the developers did who have developed React, they made a hook called as use state hook so that you are able to use it in functional based. Similarly, for now we don't have a ready made hook for that. So then what you can do, you can make your own custom hook and you have to write the logic by your own. Now that is like a developer thing. You have to think on that. You have to make your own hook. That is called as the custom hook. Custom means you yourself have to develop that hook. Then it is possible. But then it is a challenging thing. You have to think and write logics for a hook to make a custom hook. And that takes time. Understanding? Abhishek and Bhavani. Did you understand what I said just now? Okay, so the way we already have ready-made hooks, like we have use state, we have use context, there are more hooks that we'll be learning. Similarly, right now we don't have a ready-made hook, but you can make it with the help of a custom hook. Okay? Okay, so is it done? Is it working for you? If it is done, if it is working, that's it for the day. We will continue on next Saturday. Okay, if it is not done, you can continue.